In this video, I want to cover some basic body weight strength and conditioning that I do for my jiu-jitsu. Now, I wanted to do this because a couple of my students were sharing some videos with me, and some of them were just, I don't have a better word than to say that they were ridiculous. And one guy who was saying that all you have to do for strength training in jiu-jitsu is just work your arms. I can't even begin to rip that apart, but I don't have to. Use your common sense. I had another person that was saying that all you need when it comes to jiu-jitsu is powerlifting. Again, we could shred that, but just use your common sense. Bodybuilding training, all these other things, what is the answer? The complexity of the argument is that there is no one answer. Personally, I do a lot of those things, if not all of those things. I do still lift and have a heavy day. I do still do some bodybuilding like bro splits from time to time. But primarily what I do is functional strength and conditioning. That was laid upon me years ago when I first started by my MMA coaches, my Muay Thai coach, my boxing coach, specifically my jiu-jitsu professor. It was made very clear to me the importance of functional strength training. But some movements or ways of training are specifically beneficial for jiu-jitsu or grappling. And one thing that I think maybe some people aren't doing enough of, because I think that they assume that this kind of stuff is taken care of during their warm-ups for class. But moving around on the ground and flowing with your body weight is very important for jiu-jitsu. It's a very important and often overlooked aspect that is necessary to improve your grappling. Look, take all that crap out of it, man, like powerlifting or squats or leg drive, only work your arms and all these things. Look, strength training will strengthen your body. It will strengthen you in different ways. But you need a strong core. You need a strong trunk. You need to be able to hold positions, to bridge, to push, to move people and yourself in awkward positions and hold those positions and be twisted up and still have strength. So I wanted to kind of share some of the basic body weight flow movements that I do on the ground as part of my strength and conditioning that help improve my grappling all around. So the first movement we're gonna do is very simple. Again, you're gonna see that some of these movements are almost you're gonna think they're not necessary. You're gonna say, oh, I already do that, because again, you probably do these during the warm-ups of when you attend jiu-jitsu class. But the fact is, you're not doing enough of them. And you should probably add them to your strength conditioning routine outside of the class times to be sure that you're gaining all the strength benefits from these exercises. Now, number one is simple. Man, look, if you've even done a free class in jiu-jitsu, you've done this one, the bear crawl. There's gonna be two versions of the bear crawl I'm gonna show you here. Now, the regular bear crawl that you see everyone doing in class, we generally are kind of like a bear. We're on our hands. Again, you have to use the strength in your shoulders, and you're on your toes and your knees are bent, and you're doing this bear crawl, and you're walking up and down the mat. Now, that's a traditional bear crawl, and that's a good position, and there's a reason we do it. It gives you strength through these motions. It helps you understand how to move on the ground. You're engaging your core, you're engaging your posterior chain. Again, you're strengthening up your shoulders and your wrists, your forearms, and all these things. But that lackadaisical kind of beginner version of the bear crawl is not enough. But I do that bear crawl, the one I was just explaining, with my heels off the ground. I do that bear crawl up and down about 5 times. Then I do the more body weight functional bear crawl. Now, what this is a more technical bear crawl. What you wanna do is you wanna have your hands, of course, the same position, your arms are straight, same position, your head is down. It looks like a downward dog in yoga. And what you're gonna end up doing is keeping your heels on the ground this time, and you want your body to form like an A. So you won't be moving as fast as you're used to, and you might even feel a little awkward. But this is not only good for the strength aspects of doing the exercise, but it's also great in unlocking your hamstrings and your posterior chain and your lower back and your sacrum and all these things that can cause problems through consistently grappling. So after I do the jiu-jitsu bear crawls, I do the more technical bear crawls, again, 5 times, meaning down and back 1, down and back 2, I do 5 times. So I do bear crawls 10 times. Now, my second movement is just being in an animal crawl position. And animal crawl we'll cover in another video, because this is not the only video I'm gonna do on this. But an animal crawl position is basically, I'm shins are hovering and my palms are on the ground. You're in this position, again, you wanna keep your head out of your shoulders, okay? Then what you're gonna do is swing one of your arms around and rotate to your back, pulling your bottom foot or your outside leg underneath. not over. We don't step over when we do this movement, we pull under. Then your hands and your palms are on the ground behind you. You're gonna feel a good stretch in your shoulders and across your chest. Again, don't let your head sink into your shoulders. Stay very strong in that position. For this exercise, I rotate in one direction 5 times, and then I rotate in the other direction 5 more times, equaling 10 rotations. Then I do an advanced version of this where when I take my palms from the animal pose and rotate back to where I'm in a crab walk position, when I'm in that position, I elevate my hips upward towards the ceiling. And then I come back down and then I complete my full rotation. This adds another layer. It stretches out your arms through your shoulders, through your biceps, all the way through. It gives you a deeper stretch there. Then it strengthens your hip and engages your core in that awkward crab walk position. It's a great stretch and it's good at strengthening your core. So that's an advanced version. So I do, again, 5 rotations one way, 5 rotations the other way for 10 total rotations. Now for the third and last exercise in this particular video, we're gonna do reverse lunges into like a seated position, swinging or rotating and then stepping up into another lunge. There's 2 ways that I do this, okay? So basically you start in a standing position, you reverse back into a reverse lunge, and then you sit back onto your knees, I sit onto my hip, and then I swing my knees and step back up into a lunging position. The second version is a lot easier. It's like a kid basically falling, or anyone falling really, rolling back onto the opposite hip and then standing back up. So you reverse lunge, you roll back onto your opposite hip, and then you just step through on the opposite side into a standing lunge. Now what these do, aside from just leg strength and core strength and then the rotation, what these do is they just give you strength through the functional process of getting up and coming down. I don't know about you guys, but years of training in multiple things, strength and conditioning and Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, my knees and my hips are constant concern, and I have to spend a lot of time with recovery. So sometimes in a roll or even drilling, I have a hard time just standing up. So this just strengthens your ability to do that. So depending on sometimes I mix the versions, sometimes I stick to one version, but going back and forth, alternating the lunges, I try to do 20 reps. So again, I gave you guys the rep counts of what I do. Now this routine is not like an everyday kind of thing. I think I probably do this twice a week, at the most 3 times a week. So that's it, guys. Those are 3 very powerful strength movements that you can do that will assist in improving your grappling. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel the difference. Now, beyond grappling, these are just great moves, period, that are very good for your body functionally. This is a very small portion of the things that I do as far as my functional training on the ground to improve my grappling and my overall fitness. I do it either in addition to whatever strength and conditioning I'm doing that day, or I do it on the side, separate from anything else. I kind of just do it as its own exercise. Give it a try and let me know, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.